So there's really nothing specific.
Turn them on. All right, good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio, and hope you're having a wonderful Friday, and looking forward to this Memorial Day weekend. Should be a beautiful weekend, so hope you guys get a chance to get out and enjoy the 3-day weekend. In the studio this morning, we are doing our Longhorn Spotlight, sponsored by Lowry's Window and Door. So a big thank you to Faith and Bobby Lowry for sponsoring our Longhorn Spotlight. And today we have in the studio the PHS Drama and Stagecraft.
That is true.
Programs.
Yep.
Yeah. And joining us, Theatre Director Kathy Siler. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Chris.
Thank you so much for coming in, and also bringing in Cody and Seth. Thank you for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. And well, I know school's out though, so it's officially summer right now. So thank you, really thank you for coming in, because yeah, you guys I guess slept in a little bit, but not as much as maybe you would have liked, huh?
Yeah, not as much as we'd like.
But those days are coming, right?
Yeah, yeah, soon. There you go. You have the rest of the summer, so that's nice. So the drama program Stagecraft, I saw that. Stagecraft, when, I guess, did that name, or how did that come about?
Oh, Chris, thank you so much for hosting us on this program. We really value your community support and hosting community people, and especially hosting the kids and their programs.
Oh,
So valuable,
welcome.
because these folks are our future. They're going to be
Mhm.
taking care of you and I when
I
we're
know.
older.
Yeah, you will, guys, okay? Well.
Your answer is 2014, so most of the folks who know me know that the theater program was actually started by my husband, who was teaching English from 84 to 87, and asked again and again, you know, hey, can I have a drama class like I used to have in Coolidge? I think it'd be really good for the school, it'd be good for the community.
Mhm.
So he had one single afternoon drama class, experimental class in 87, and it blossomed into a full drama program, and within 3 years he was teaching full-time theater. I was his helper back then. You know, I was a theater major, of course, so I had to keep my hand in somehow. He also taught me a lot, and I was able to share directing and tech directing with him. And when he retired in 2004, I was able to apply and get his job, which was a story unto itself. But yeah, it's just been a passion of mine to see how theater education changes people's lives for good, and how these young people can gain so many skills through a theater program. Well, any program, as you know, whether it be sports or fine arts or a CTE program, these kids gain skills, professional skills, confidence skills. You know, they learn how to believe in themselves and make their dreams come true. So when I became the drama teacher, you know, I kept the program going as John and I had built it together. But then a lot of drama teachers around the country were looking towards the professional skill level that theater teaches, especially the technical theater, because as you know, today there's about 12 full-time technicians for every performer,
Wow.
including voice actors. Sorry to tell you that, Chris, but
Oh,
yeah, and it's even getting more so because everybody wants tech now. You know, almost every church has some kind of technical theater element. Every mall, every cinema theater, you know, in their lobby, they want this cool tech stuff. Hotels, yeah, and the technical theater elements are getting a lot less expensive as the years go by, because technology is getting less expensive as each year the new tech comes out in the informational technology world. So my drama teacher friends impressed me. They said, you know, Kathy, you really need to be one of us. There were only 7 at the time in Arizona in 2014, and so I looked into it, and I took some CTE courses through college, and I was able to get CTE certified through my professional hours. I was auditorium manager for 15 years, so then I became a CTE teacher, and then my program eventually warped from fine arts to career training, education, stagecraft, and that's where we are today.
Yeah, and yeah, speaking of technology, if you're listening to the program on the radio and you didn't know, we live stream all of our community spotlight programs on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And just like you said, the technology, being able to do this with just the camera and then the little device on top that allows you to stream to multiple platforms at the same time. Last night's graduation, we were live streaming. I was out there live streaming.
Thank you.
And with the equipment that fits in that backpack on the desk behind you, I could have only had 2 cameras, but I could hook up to 10 cameras.
Wow.
And control them all on an iPad, just switching from camera to camera, fading in, fading out, and one person could do that.
That's exciting.
Which is crazy.
It is.
When you think of the technology that is out there today. So it's cool that it's being incorporated into this program, and the students are getting the opportunity to have exposure to that,
Yep.
and learn that skill. Also want to thank Ginger Liddell, because she, and this is the last program of the year since school ended yesterday, but she helped and she set up all of these interviews and coordinated with all of the CTE instructors and coaches. And we were able to highlight a lot of the programs, but we couldn't get all of them in because there are so many. There are so many.
Yes.
So hopefully we continue to do this next year. I would really like to continue that, to give students the opportunity to come on and be highlighted and showcased.
That would be great. I and my CTE teachers would really appreciate it, but yesterday afternoon, I was talking to my principal, Jeff Simon, about all the programs, the various programs we have to offer, and we both agree, for a small school, for a small town, we offer an incredible amount of co-curricular programs and extracurricular programs for our kids.
Oh yeah. So speaking of that, all right, Cody, how long have you been in the Stagecraft program?
So I've officially been a thespian ever since my freshman year. I was a junior thespian in, I believe it was 6th grade of middle school.
Mhm.
And I think the earliest I ever did anything with our club was the Missoula Children's Theater in elementary school.
Oh yeah.
So I've kind of just been dipping my toes in the water with the drama a little bit, and then I get to middle school and join the junior thespians. And
There you go.
There.
You would be maybe a grade below. I have a daughter, Gracie. And she was in the Missoula one where, I forget which production it was, but she was a mushroom.
Oh, me
Where
too.
you were a mushroom
I was
as
a
well?
mushroom, yeah.
Oh, hey, I have to show you some pictures then after the program, because yeah, daughters Gracie and Caroline, who was 2 grades above her, they were both mushrooms in that production. Do you remember which one that
I think
was?
it was Alice in Wonderland.
It was Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, those are cool, the Missoula Theater production. Great opportunity for younger children, especially, to get involved in theater and get up on stage and kind of get a taste of it. Yeah, it's really cool that they come here. So, Seth, how long have you been in the Stagecraft program?
So I've been in it in a lot less time than Cody has. I've only been in it for, I think, going on 3 years now.
Okay.
I joined my sophomore year.
Okay. What caused you to join? What was it that drew you to the program?
Well, mainly just like my friends, I guess. Because in middle school, like my 8th grade year, I started going to the club after school with some of my friends. And I realized that I like it, and so I decided to join the class in high school, and it's been there ever since.
Hey, cool. What is your favorite part about being in the Stagecraft program? What do you like the most?
I like that the whole thing is basically just like a family, just like a place where you can just go and...
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and be with your friends and Miss Siler, and probably do you have assistants, or is there anyone that helps? I wish I did.
I'm a single person program right now. Theater's been my passion since I was a kid, so it was only natural for me to help my husband just because I love theater. I didn't really know what I was doing other than just helping him build shows.
Yeah.
But watching him work with his kids made me fall in love with theater education. So we were very, very blessed to be a 2-person department for a very, very long time. I volunteered for years, and then I was a paid instructional aide for quite a few years, and Then we had a 2002 graduate, Thomas Walling, who just loved our program so much he volunteered his time. So we built this gigantic program. When John passed away in 2011, Tom and I kept it going, and then sadly Tom passed away in 2016. I'm a single woman program, but the district has been so good in allowing our auditorium manager to assist me with inside of his duties in the lighting and sound area. So he's been primarily responsible for training my technicians on our new LED lighting system in the auditorium and our new digital sound system in the auditorium, and that takes a huge part off of me. We work together, actually, David and I, with building each show or each project. That's really his expertise area, so I get to take advantage of that. That helps me a lot, and he'll be on board next year full-time, and we're just going to continue that great collaboration. So other than that, I depend on a few parent volunteers here and there, and we always need more of that. Sometimes a community member will come in and do a presentation or guest direct. We had a guest director for our musical this past spring. Miss Elle LeBlanc from the middle school, she teaches math over there, was our stage director.
Yes.
And I was very blessed to be able to, my program was blessed to have some money to pay for a local choreographer and a stipend for our music teacher to be our vocal director, which is just, you know, a huge help to have, especially in such a big program, to have that kind of assistance. But I think the kids got a lot out of it. I really enjoy having my kids be able to work with different directors. I think that's a great dynamic to prepare them to go into the professional workforce.
Gotcha.
So how did you folks, well, I know you really enjoyed Little Shop of Horrors, but like retrospect, working with somebody other than me in a directorial role, how did that work for you?
I think after, we had like 2 shows that you directed us in, and then we had Miss LeBlanc direct, and I think it took some getting used to at first, but I think it was a really great experience for us, because like you said, it really like prepares us for the professional world where we're not going to have the same director over and over again, and we get to, you know, act in a different person's style and kind of portray a character in a different way than maybe someone else would have us portray that character.
Yeah, thanks. Seth, what was your favorite part about working with Miss LeBlanc?
Kind of like along the lines of Cody said, it's nice to have like somebody else direct because they have different styles, and so her is her like her future. It's nice.
And what was your favorite? Was Little Shop of Horrors your favorite production this year, or?
I would say Little Shop of Horrors is probably my favorite this year.
Because?
Mainly because, personally, it's just one of my favorite shows, but I think it was a good, like, goodbye to a lot of the seniors, too, that were leaving this year, because, I mean, I did last year, too, but I had a lot of friends that were seniors this year, and it was really nice getting to perform an epic musical with them, you know?
So now you're going into your junior year
Yes.
this year, and Seth, you're going to be a senior this next year.
Yeah.
Is that right? All right. So do you know, is it a case before the next year starts, do you know of different productions that you're going to do, or will that be known or be shared with them at the beginning of next school year? And I don't want you to give them away. I mean, you don't need to.
No, I want to give this one away.
Okay.
Absolutely, it's so important to our community. And my department already knows, because a lot of kids have been waiting for years and years to be in the next production of Addict by Jerome McDonough.
Oh.
This is a show that we discovered decades ago. John and I met the author, actually, on one of our International Thespian Festival trips, and we became so enamored. He was actually an English teacher from Texas, and he, for years, every year he'd work with his kids on a collaborative stage production at the end of the year. And one particular year, they chose the social issue of addiction and how dangerous it can be, or even just one try of an illicit dangerous drug, of how that could kill somebody. It was quite a while before Payson High School was allowed to produce it, But we did that. John directed the first one, 4 years later. I directed the next one, 4 years later. Thomas Walling directed the next one, 4 years later. A guest director, Clint Nichols, who was a graduate of mine, directed the next one.
Mhm.
And now we're going to have a guest director for this coming Addict. We're going to cast it in first week of school, perform it at the end of September. But this is such an important topic. It's not just a show where the actors tell their story and then at the end, oh dear, we did something bad and we died. What all the characters do die except for one, but the main message of the show is no one is beyond help. That is the message of this play. And so in the script, the author has this huge page of directions, several pages of directions, you know. I charge you to have counselors ready, available in the office. I charge you to put local help numbers and contact information for local organizations in your program. That's why we do this play. And what's really awesome for my kids is that we invite quite a few guest directors to come in, like perhaps a drug force task officer or perhaps a counselor at a rehab center, you know, whoever wants to come in and talk to my kids so that they have an understanding of you know, the impact of what they're going to give to our community, our school community and our local community. So it's going to be Addict in the last Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday of September.
Wow, in September. So, and I see you guys, Seth and Cody, nodding your heads. So are you looking forward to that production?
I definitely am.
Yeah.
Yeah. And why? What does that mean to you?
I think for the most part, just because it's a tradition in the drama club.
Mhm.
I remember having the chance to do it in 8th grade, but I didn't, and I've kind of just been waiting for a while to be able to be a part of it. And I think it has a very powerful message, so it's a really interesting play to be a part of.
So when you say late September, school is back in session.
The kids come back the very first week of August.
August,
yeah, July
so
31st.
there isn't a lot of time then, is there?
Well, we'll be set up. It is a short show. It has
Okay.
11 scenes, and
Okay.
it's in vignettes.
Okay.
So instead of having this large ensemble working together throughout the entire show, which takes a tremendous amount of rehearsal, like Little Shop of Horrors, we had to work together as a full cast for days and weeks. This is a little different, where a character will tell their story with a supporting actor or two. So rehearsals will be a little easier than some of our larger plays.
Okay.
And my goal, of course, is to have a different person in each role. I think we'll have lots of people come out and audition for it, actually. So yeah, it's an easy, I wouldn't say an easy show, but it's a very doable show to cast and rehearse in 7 weeks.
Gotcha. Okay. So what were some of the other shows that you did this year? I know Little Shop of Horrors, that was both of your favorites production, but what other productions did you do or you were part of?
So we did One Mad Night.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe that one. That one's it's a very intricate show, I'll say. It was a very, I don't know how to describe, I don't know. What was the other shows we did?
Of the senior one acts.
Senior one acts.
Senior one acts. Okay. And what were those like senior one acts? Is that where seniors kind of wrote their own production or kind of came up with?
Yeah, it's basically where like a senior either like chooses a show or some write the show, which I believe both of the seniors did write the shows this year.
Okay.
And they just like direct it and just put on the whole show like by themselves basically.
Oh wow. Okay. So is that something you're looking forward to? Is that what is done each year, every year?
Yeah,
seniors
it's
get the opportunity?
the capstone project, actually,
Okay.
for every CTE program has capstone projects available, and some teachers mandate them for each senior completing the program. That's a 3-year student or a 4-year student, and I was blessed to have a 3-year student and a 4-year student want to write their own material, and that's a long process because, you know, just writing something that you want to perform in front of the public, it's not easy. And I impress my kids, you need to go through the editing process. You can't like love your original work so much that you're not going to want to adapt it or change it or you know, allow other people to give their opinions. I think that's why all writers of all levels in the world have editors, right? They say, hey, read this, Chris, and see what you think. Were either of you folks involved in like giving Evian and Winnie ideas or helping them to change? I know both of you were in Winnie Payne's film, right?
Yes.
Was the script cold, like it was exactly how she wanted it, or were you guys able to give your ideas?
I remember a few weeks, maybe a few months in advance, Evan and Winnie sending us their scripts, and so we could look them over and we could check out any like spelling errors or anything that didn't make any sense, just to try and like format the scripts a bit better for the public and like talk to them about ideas. But yeah, I don't know. It was mostly, for Evian's case, it was mostly in his vision.
Yeah, I think so. Seth, how different was it being in a student film rather than being in a play on stage?
Well, it was different because you could like have takes, I guess, and it's not just like you do it on stage and if you do it wrong, then it's wrong. You can take multiple takes to get it like, actually right.
Did you enjoy that part of the process?
Yeah, I'd say it was cool, I guess, having like ability to like take multiple takes.
And the different locations that you folks went to film shots, that must have been an effort to meet up at different places.
Yeah, it did take like a few cars, I think, to get everyone to the different places that we needed to be at.
A few cars. It's like, all right, guys, hey, we're going over here. That's pretty good. How is that being on stage? Like you said, Seth, to where when you're performing on stage live, it's you have one take, one chance. You don't, it's not recorded. So, like you said, it isn't a case. Oh, let's do that again. Hey, how about you change this or change that? Is that like aspect, does that make you kind of nervous about that, or do you embrace it, feel challenged by it? Does it add to like the excitement?
Well, I actually like that part about
Yeah.
it, and even if you do mess up, you could just improv,
Mm-hmm.
and that's another thing that I like about it.
Yeah, well, and that's so true because unless someone knows like all your lines, unless they've been helping you practice or they, are close to the play, they don't know exactly what your line's supposed to be. So improving, that is something that, hey, they don't know if you're messing up, right? The people in the audience, where you just go with it, say something. I guess the only thing is you have to make sure that your castmates, the others, can do that as well. And if you kind of like go off script a little bit, they're not like waiting. Wait, you're supposed to say this. I'm waiting for this line. I'm waiting for this.
Yeah,
That's
you're
my
exactly
cue.
right about that. Yeah, that's why improvisation training is so good for not only performers but for business people too.
Yes.
Because what if you're having an important meeting and you get stuck and you don't know where to go or what to say or what to think of?
Mhm.
Improv can really open up your mind as to like possibilities,
Mhm.
like Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, Plan E.
Instead of just sitting there, standing there like,
Mhm.
I don't have anything. I don't know what to say.
I'm sure we've all been in meetings where that has happened at one time or another.
Yeah, and how does that, have there been cases where you've done that as well, Cody, where kind of just wing it?
Definitely. I think a good example is when I came on the show with Ashland a while ago for Missoula. Definitely a lot of improv in that case, just trying to figure out what to say. I'm also in a few other CTE programs, and you really gotta like improv in programs like DECA, where you're doing the meetings with like the business leaders, the role plays, and I think drama's like helped me out with that for sure.
Well, that's cool. You mentioned you're also in DECA as well. Are you in, have you participated over your years in high school in other CTE programs? Or?
My main focus has always been drama. I've stayed pretty loyal to drama, but I occasionally go on the DECA trip because it looks good on the resume, it's fun. So
Yeah.
Good
and
skills.
And how about you, Seth?
I've just been in drama.
Just been in drama. And that's something you mentioned at the beginning of the program, Kathy, where the opportunities with the CTE programs, our sports programs, wow, there's a lot of opportunities for our high school students, and even college courses. If they really want to focus on furthering their education, and their plan is to go to college, they know they're going to college. and they want to knock out prerequisites.
Yeah, we have kids graduating with their associate's degree,
Yeah.
sometimes at the same time they get a high school diploma. And these kids are, doing homework
Yeah.
basically every day, all day,
Yeah.
because doubling up is really a challenge. But there are some kids out there who are up for the challenge, and you're right, they desire it, and their family will support them and say, hey, let's go for this. So 2 years of college for free while you're in high school, wow, that's an amazing opportunity.
It is, and that's, through NAVID program and Aspire Foundation, paying for that. So, yeah, the opportunities that are presented to our young people, like you said, for a small school, a small town, there are a lot of opportunities.
There are, we're definitely competitive. We have some great professionals teaching folks with advanced degrees, advanced education, teaching experience. I couldn't even imagine the hundreds of years of professional experience and educational experience we have on our staff. Our art teacher, George Conley, counted them up one time. So George, if you're out there listening, I need those numbers. It was quite impressive when he sent it out. We have obviously some people coming from the professional world coming back into the teaching world, and that's always valuable as well.
And at last night's graduation, it was wonderful when Jeff Simon, the high school principal, pointed out, I think it was right at $3.5 million in scholarships.
Yeah, amazing.
That were earned by our senior class.
Yes.
Senior class. That is crazy.
Well, it's appropriate. We have very talented people in this town. Youngsters are going to go do wonderful things and put Payson on the map. Well, they have.
And they have, yeah. They have, you hear so many stories of young people when they come back to visit, or maybe they move back into the area, and just the things that they've been out doing. It's very impressive.
It is.
So, well, it's already 10:30.
Wow.
Just like that, half hour. I know, it's gone. When you guys came in, you're like, oh my gosh, a half hour? I don't know if I want to do this, come on. But no, I know you weren't thinking that. But yeah, it goes fast, and I really appreciate you guys coming in, especially since it's your first day of summer. So.
Well, I have my fancy dress awards ceremony Tuesday night.
Oh.
So we continue all the way through Thespies. It's our version of Oscars. So Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, formal wear, and my kids get up and present various awards.
Wow, are you guys looking forward to that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. You're like, yeah, yes. No, well, that is great. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you, Chris.
all you've done, oh my gosh, over the 36 years?
Well,
It'll be
yeah, I'm
36
finishing up my 35th year in the classroom,
yes.
19 as full-time teacher, head of program.
Wow. So, thank you so much. Boy,
You're
there's
welcome.
So many students over the years
Yep.
that you've impacted and played a big part in their development. And
Well, I
they
appreciate you
are.
saying that, and then those people in turn will affect others.
Yeah.
Like these young people here I have with me, Cody and Seth, will be affecting other people for good when they get out of their educational area. My husband called it the ripple effect, and every single person has a ripple effect. So everybody should think about that. How am I going to affect other people today?
Yeah. What impact are you going to have? Because
That's right.
yeah, all of us can have an impact, and you might think it's not significant. It's maybe a little ripple, but then that ripple travels,
That's right.
and then the people that ripple touches, then they have their ripples, and
That's
so
right.
on.
Sometimes you'll never know what that is.
Yeah, no, that is great. Well,
Thanks for having us here.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you again, guys, Cody and Seth, for coming in. And thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. And again, hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. And remember, take some time to think about this weekend and remembering those that gave their lives for our freedoms this weekend. Also want to thank Lowry's Window and Door, again, Faith and Bobby, for their support of KRIM and their support of the youth in our community. Those guys are great, so we appreciate them. Time to get back to the music with some Missing Persons, B-52s, Rolling Stones, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Let me turn this off. Thank you, guys. See ya.